Okay, coaches and possibly parents, if you're watching this video, this may be a refresher for some of you that have done this for many years, but please watch and don't tune me out. If you're new to Upward or if you're relatively new to Upward, this is critical information. The first thing I want to talk about are the armbands. The armbands are meant to put talent against talent. When you have 5 players on the court, your very best player is going to wear the blue armband. Your next to best will wear the green. Your third to best, or the middle player on the court at that period, wears the orange, and then white, and then yellow. If you think about it, it goes alphabetically: blue, green, orange, white, yellow. Now, as you rotate people off the bench to come into the game, whoever is the best player at that period wears the blue. And whoever's the weakest will wear the yellow, and you'll go right down the list. Now, most of you coaches have already turned in your roster with the names ranked. For the purpose of this video, we're going to pretend like you got 7 players. So you're going to have your A player, which is your best, your B player, which is next to best, and you rank them A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. All right? So G will be the very weakest player on your team. They are loved and cherished and valued, and they are equal in every sight other than their skill level on the court. Now, that ranking will not change for the whole season. You will leave the order that you've got them ranked. That does not change. Now, their skill level may, some of your weaker players may end up being stronger throughout the season. And that can change what color armband they wear. But in one particular game, the best player always wears the blue, and the next to best always wears the green, and on down the line. We never use the armbands to try to match up a weaker player against my stronger player or something. Sometimes you're going to have a tall player guarding a shorter player, but they're both wearing blue, and in the long run, that's the best. I didn't have the red armband, so I just got a red rag. But the red armband means a foul. If you commit a foul, you get a red armband. The next time you commit a foul during that 6-minute period, the other team gets a point and they retain the possession of the ball. At the end of the period, we take the red armband back and you start over. A kid can't foul out of the game, but if he's got a red armband, every time they commit a foul after that, it's a point and possession. If a person is fouled in the shooting of a basket, they get the 2 points automatically. If you're wearing the red armband and you foul somebody, if they make the bucket, they're going to get 3 points. Now, let's look at the rotation for a moment, okay? You've already got your team ranked A, B, C, D, E, F, G, if you got 7 players. If you got 9 or 10, G, E, F, G, H, I, J, and just keep going down the alphabet. But the lower the alphabet is the weaker of the player on your team. Now, I've got a sheet that I've made, and you may want to pause it so you can get a good look at this. Now, this was from week 1. If you notice, this was from week 1, and it shows the team having 7 players, and they're ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players, and then you can see they have the A, B, C, D, E, F, and G by them. Now, the way Upward works, in period number 1, your A, B, C, D, and E players are in the game. Then at the end of that period, we come in and we rotate the 2 guys that were on the bench. So these 2 guys on the bench come in, and then we go with the other 3 to give you 5. The red slashes just means that person is sitting out and they're on the bench for that period. So every period, whoever is on the bench comes off the bench and in the game, and we go right through the cycle. And if you notice, the A player and the B player, they're only going to be on the bench once on week 1. And the C, D, E, F, and G players, they're going to be on the bench twice. But how about this? In week 2, this is very unlike regular ball, but on week 2, if you've got at least 6 players playing ball that day, on week 2, if you look closely, your A player, your very best player on the team in period 1, they're going to be on the bench. They haven't done anything wrong, but it's a rotation. Everybody gets equal playing time, and everybody gets to start a game just like anybody else. So for period 1, you start with your B, C, D, E, and F player, and your A player is on the bench. And if you look at period number 2, your E and F player will be on the bench. In period 3, your C and D player will be on the bench, and so forth. So for week number 2, which is coming up this Saturday, your very best player in the league, in your team, he's going to be sitting on the bench twice this week. And then your B player will sit once, your C player will sit once, and then your D, E, F, and G players, they will each sit on the bench twice. All right? In week 3, I'm going to go do this one more time. But in week 3, your A and your B player are going to start out on the bench, okay? Just the way upward cycles. And that's provided you've got at least 7 players playing. Now, some of the girls' divisions, they only have 5 players or 6 players. A couple of them only have 4 players. And in your case, there will be no rotation. There will be no rotation unless the team you're playing only has 3 players. And then you'll have to follow the rotation. So on week number 3, which will be next week, your A and B player will start out on the bench, and you'll just follow the rotation. Now, if the coaches have an app and it does it all automatically. But if you're not using the app, you're going to have to go by this, and I can help you. There will never be a time when a player sits on the bench 2 consecutive periods back to back. It will never happen. That means you've done something wrong. You've made a mistake, okay? They will never be on the bench because we only have, the most we can have on a team is 10. If we had 11 or 12, yeah, that might happen, but Upward doesn't do it that way. So I hope this fills in some of the mystery of how we do Upward basketball. Parents, we love and value and cherish every player in the league, whether they've played this all their life or if this is their first year. And that's why we treat them all with respect, dignity, courtesy, and they all get to play the same amount of minutes on average every game and every week. If you have any questions, email me, text me, see me at the games. But we have these starting lineups on the scores table in case there is a conflict. And I just pray that no coach will do this deliberately for some type of competitive advantage, because that's not ethical and it's not the Upward way. Thank y'all. Look forward to this Saturday. Have a good week.